It's October 13th, 2021, and the Chiefs have a losing record. Why are the Chiefs so bad this season? So before I go any further in this video though, I just want to say, yes, the Chiefs are bad by their standard this season, but they are still better than like 50% of the league, or more than 50% of the teams in the NFL. I'm a Giants fan, and if the Giants were playing the way the Chiefs were right now, I'd be like, let's go! I'd be so hyped up. I'd be like, oh my gosh, we can make a Super Bowl run. So a big talking point we've been hearing about why this Chiefs team is so bad is because their defense is really, really bad. And yes, that is true, but it's honestly more than just their defense playing bad. But first, let's talk about this really bad defense because it is indeed very bad. So according to Pro Football Focus, the Chiefs have the overall worst defense in the NFL right now. This defense is tied with the Texans and Jaguars defense for giving up the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL at 9 touchdowns so far. They've also given up the 7th most passing touchdowns in the league this season, and this defense also has the highest percentage of opponents' offenses drives ending with a score at 54.2%, which is over half the other team's drives. And not surprisingly, this Kansas City defense is giving up the most points per game in the league. They're giving up an average of 32.6 points per game. Also, they lead the league in giving up the most yards per play at 7.1 yards per play. A big reason why the Chiefs' defensive numbers are so bad this season is because they are not getting pressure. They are getting no pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. The Chiefs' defense has a league worst 7 sacks, so that's the lowest number in the league. So no pressure means the quarterback is going to have all day to throw. Eventually a wide receiver, a tight end, or a running back is going to get open. The secondary can't cover players forever. So that is why this defense has given up the 2nd most yards in the NFL. Bend, don't break defenses work in the NFL, right? But this defense is not bend, don't break. It's just bend, then break. Or maybe just break right away, just immediately break. This defense is not getting turnovers. Did you hear that? That kind of sounded like Patrick Mahomes. But they're not getting turnovers. They have they're tied with the 5th least turnovers in the league. They have 4 turnovers currently. So the defense isn't the only reason why this team has a losing record. Surprisingly, it also comes down to how this offense is playing right now as well. Yes, this offense is still one of the best in the league, but they are turning the ball over way too much. They are tied with the Jaguars for the most turnovers in the NFL with 11 turnovers so far this season. I mean, you don't want to be tied with the Jaguars for any statistic in the league, so that's a huge red flag for Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes has already thrown 6 interceptions so far this season. Last season, he threw a total of 6 interceptions. The only game he doesn't have an interception so far this season is the first game of the season in week 1. So that narrative that, Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw interceptions in September is just totally gone. It doesn't exist anymore. I understand why Patrick would be throwing more interceptions now because this defense is so bad and he's just trying to do so much and put up so many points so this team has an opportunity to win games. With the way this defense is playing though, they have to be way more careful about interceptions. If Patrick Mahomes throws an interception anywhere in the Chiefs' side of the field, anywhere on the Chiefs' side of the field, he's basically giving points to the other team's offense. While he's running off the field, he better give like a high five to the other team's offense or the other team's quarterback because he just gave them some points right there because this defense cannot get stops. This offense already has almost 3 times the amount of turnovers this defense has created, so you can't have that with the way this defense is playing. You're not going to win. But let me say this, I do think things are going to get better for the Chiefs. Out of the first 5 teams they've played this season, 4 of them have top 10 offenses. And I think the Chiefs can go on a nice little 3-game win streak coming up because this is their schedule. They're at the Washington football team, then they're at the Tennessee Titans, then they're at home versus the Giants, then they have a game versus the Packers, which should be, interesting. I could see either team winning that game, to be honest with you. Both teams don't have great defenses, but pretty good offenses. I really do have faith in this team to make the adjustments it needs to make. I have faith in Patrick Mahomes that he's going to, stop throwing as many interceptions as he has thrown to start the season. I have faith that this defense is going to somehow figure it out. I have faith that Spagnuolo is going to come up with some blitz packages, some scheme on defense that can get pressure on the opposing team's quarterback. And this upcoming week, when they play the Washington football team, they're playing against Taylor Heineke, who threw 2 pretty bad interceptions last week versus the Saints. So I think they can kind of get some momentum in that game on the defensive side of the ball. And then they play Tennessee, and Tennessee gave up 7 sacks versus the Jets. So hopefully in that game versus Tennessee, the Chiefs will finally be able to, get some more sacks. And I think after those, back-to-back games, this defense could have some momentum once they go and face the Giants and the Packers. So that is it for this video, guys. Make sure to drop a thumbs up, comment down below, letting me know what you think of this Chiefs team. Do you think they're still going to make the playoffs? I personally think they are still going to make the playoffs. I think things are going to be okay for the Chiefs. And make sure you guys subscribe. Peace!